Good morning and welcome to TechCheck Live. I'm Julia Boorstin and I'm joined now by Alexa von Tobel and Penny Pritzker, co-founders and partners at Inspired Capital. And thank you both for joining us. You have some big news today. Alexa, give us the news.
So today we're announcing Inspired's second fund. It's a $281 million fund focused again on investing in world-class founders across the country, and we're early stage focused, so seed and Series A. And it's been an absolute joy building this firm with Penny and the rest of our team, and we're just really excited to put our heads back down and keep investing.
Yeah, such a big fund here in that you're now near about $500 million in assets under management. This is 280 million second fund. Penny, what does this mean in terms of what you're going to be able to do with this next fund, and also the kind of confidence that it indicates about what you've already done?
Well, I think it's really exciting, the institutional support that we've gotten for what we've done in our first fund. The second thing, I think that it's a recognition that we're a fund that's really created by operators. Alexa and I and our partners all come from an operating background. And founders, today have choices. They are interested not just in their valuation, but they're really interested in what's the value you bring to the table as their venture capital partner. And what we're seeing is our story is really resonating. The fact that we bring our experience in building businesses to the table.
Yeah. And so, Alexa, give us a little background in what your focus is, what size companies you like to focus on, and also what type of companies you think are most interesting right now.
Sure. And I was just going to add to Penny's last thought. Between our founding team, we built and scaled 10 businesses. We have one former U.S. Secretary of Commerce. And I think to Penny's point, what we're seeing that is really resonating at Inspired Capital is that in a sea of capital where money is everywhere, founders are really looking for that craftsmanship of early stage. So to answer your question, we focus again on early stage. We're a full generalist fund investing around the country. Fund one was about 40% East Coast founders, about 40% West Coast founders, and the rest were from around the country and outside of the country. And then fully generalist. So we look at all types of big ideas. We invested in everything from fintech to digital health to a self-driving lawnmower. So truly a generalist fund in all ways.
Health tech, B2B, consumer, tech-enabled logistics. I mean, we really are across the spectrum.
Yeah.
But I think what unites us is this idea that we're really looking for durable businesses and also founders that really, our story resonates with them and they're excited. And that's why we're excited. Sometimes we're getting the first call, which is really flattering for a young firm.
And when you have such a generalist approach, I mean, obviously focused on the early stage, but such a generalist approach, what are the themes that you're looking at that you think are going to be driving the next generation of tech leaders? How do you determine sort of where to focus when there are so many different tech-driven startups out there?
Sure. So just, we just went through probably one of the largest transformations in potentially our lifetimes through COVID, the digitization of quite literally everything. Two big focuses for Inspired before this, fintech and everything that touches fintech, payments, infrastructure, consumer fintech to crypto and NFTs, and digital health were two categories that we already had a lot of expertise in. And then COVID was a tsunami that just really continued to advance those. So those are two categories that we are known for. But we also like to write theses on things that we think are clearly going to happen and then go tap founders on the shoulders and say, hey, we'd love to partner with you. So to Penny's point, we're really looking for incredible partnership with our founders.
Go ahead,
to Alexa's point, we've also incubated firms. So when we have founders that we know and have a lot of respect for, and we think the thesis that they're either promoting or we've got a thesis, we'll put those ideas together as well. It's not just we're waiting for the phone to ring for us.
And so that's somewhat unusual to incubate ideas like that. Tell me sort of what drove the interest in doing that, and also what types of companies have come out of that incubation that you think may not have been able to emerge in a more traditional model.
Well, we have one company that, again, we call it the inspiration check, kind of first money in. The company's called Aurum. It has since gone on to raise great capital from Bain Capital, Matt Harris over there, and then Samir Gandhi, managing partner of Excel. And Aurum is really about money movement infrastructure. So ACH rails and getting money that moves in the United States to be able to move faster into real-time payment rails. So it gives you an example. And Stephanie, that founder, was on the management team of LearnVest for about a decade. And so we knew her really, really well. And we were really fortunate to partner. And to Penny's point, per fund, we'll do anywhere from 0 to 2 inspiration checks where we actually lean into teams much earlier.
Interesting. And yeah, Penny, and any thoughts there on sort of why it's important to make these bets on the entrepreneur and what characteristics you're looking for in entrepreneurs?
Well, fundamentally, leadership matters. We all know that. And you need not only a good thesis, but you need a founder who has the ability to really grow with the business. Not only to be there when you're creating the concept, but also someone who has the capacity to win. And we Alexa always talks about, she wants a founder who's a real killer, who's somebody who's going to, be able to run through the tape and take the company the distance. And one of the interesting things is it's really mutual, right? If you are a founder, you want to make sure you've got a firm that's backing you, that's right there with you, that can grow with you, that can help you scale, that can help you address the challenges quarter after quarter that you're facing, particularly in this very competitive market for talent.
Now, speaking of leadership mattering, Inspired Capital is one of the largest female-led funds across the country. VC funds are historically very, very male-dominated. I could go through all the statistics, but I'm wondering what kind of advantage you think this gives you to be leading this fund at a time when there's increasing awareness of the value that diversity brings.
Well, I'll start by saying we're incredibly proud to be one of the largest female-led and owned funds in the country. And what I will say is it is a massive advantage. We have 3 female partners, Lucy DeLand and Mark Batsey, and our other 2 partners. And what we are finding is that it is truly that next generation of world-class founders that are excited about diversity. They want different people around. They recognize that their consumers, their customers, are 50% male and female, and making sure that they have that input at the table really matters. And so that's, I think, one of the things that we really saw in Fund 1, where there were many times that we were able to have a major advantage. For that reason, last thing I'll just say is we do invest in everybody, right? Just because we are female owned, we invest in founders of all shapes and sizes, again, across the country. And so we're really proud of the diversity that we bring.
And I'm curious, you bring diversity, but does your portfolio end up looking more diverse than a typical portfolio for a VC? There are all these stats that, 85% of all VC decision makers are men, and then that leads to more homogeneity within their portfolios.
Absolutely.
I think our portfolio definitely is representative of the fact that we recognize that women can be just as strong a founder as a man. And we're seeing that in our data. But, look, we'll take all comers, as Alexa said. We're proud that we're 2 women that have started this firm, but we're also, we're open to doing business with everyone.
Yeah, and it is such a competitive time in the marketplace right now. You mentioned the advantage you bring as former operators, and the valuations right now are so high. I'm wondering if you have a sense of sort of where the valuations are, if you think that these valuations are bubblicious, and where you think things are going to go from here. Alexa?
Sure. So here's how we think about it at Inspired, and I'll steal one of Penny's really great quotes, which is we're really focused on just durable businesses. Great businesses solving really big problems that are generating tens of millions of revenue very clearly. And so again, at Inspired, we kind of like to try to not think about the bubble and the hype and everything that's around us, but again, focusing on the fundamentals. And we look for founders whose feet are on the ground. They want to build, to Penny's point, they're killers who want to build very special, big businesses. They recognize that at Inspired Capital, we bring tons of unfair advantages to our founding teams. And then they want to put their heads down and build. And I think that in this environment, we've seen ebbs and flows. Penny's lived through many different types of environments, as have I. We're really looking for founders who have their feet on the ground, building durable, successful businesses.
Yeah, Penny, what do you think about this potential frothiness in the market, the proliferation of the unicorns everywhere?
Well, I think, at the end of the day, the proof is going to be in the pudding, right? I mean, we've seen cycles come and go throughout, my career. And what's important is you stay focused, as Alexa said, on businesses that you believe have a long runway ahead of them. And you have a leadership teams that can actually deliver and are showing, results and have figured out product market fit early. That's really, really important. And then are creating repeatable cycles, if you will.
Now, I'm curious, obviously you guys are investing at the early stage. There's a very long road before your companies are going to go public, perhaps slightly less long if they were to sell. But I would be curious to hear your thoughts on the recent wave of IPOs and also the sort of what's happened with the SPAC market. There was a really, really crowded SPAC market for a while now that has pulled back a bit, but how you talk to your investors about what their options are going to be, how they should think about what potential exits would be.
I don't think we're really focused, day one on what's your exit. We really go back again to the fundamentals. If you build a strong company with a good set of customers that is sustainable and you're delivering value to your customer base and your employees are motivated and feel like real stakeholders, then the valuations will take care of themselves. But if you don't have those fundamentals, the market will call you out, and they'll call you out quickly. And so I think, for us, whether SPACs are, hot or not hot is not the issue for us. Ours is a question of, can we build a business that we really think has a place in the market long term?
And Alexa, when you talk to your young entrepreneurs or not so young entrepreneurs, do you say, look, watch what's going on with these IPOs right now, or think about selling down the line? What's your advice to them?
I think we picked founders who are so passionate and excited and motivated by the problem that they're solving that they actually aren't even thinking about that. That said, we always tell our founders, let's play chess. And I think bringing incredible strategic acumen to the table is critical. So we want them to be aware of what's happening in their industries, if companies in their category are going public, et cetera, so they can know how to play their own strategy. But we're most focused on the founders who want to run the distance. To Penny's point, they want to run through the tape. They want to go a decade out. And then valuations, all of that actually solves itself when you actually have founders that are so focused on building really powerful, strong, strategically advantaged businesses. So it sounds really simple. It's really hard to operate that way.
Really
hard to execute that way. And we also just bring tremendous commitment, hard work, and grit. I think you probably can feel that, but everything we do is about backing our founders and helping them be more successful hour by hour, day by day.
Yeah, it sounds like you are very focused on that relationship. Now, a final question before we're out of time. You talked a lot about health tech and also about fintech and crypto, and those are two areas that are both regulated. We just heard from Gary Gensler on CNBC just about an hour ago, and I think it's interesting because these two areas have so much potential, but also have these regulatory issues and so much uncertainty. How do you think about that, and how do you anticipate navigating some of those regulatory potentially changes down the line?
I think the regulatory environment could be a potential advantage for those who are not trying to skirt doing the right thing, but rather are creating a product or a suite of services or products that are solving problems, and they're doing so in a prudent fashion. I think Gary's been a longtime friend and someone I have enormous respect for. And his concern is that we don't have, bad actors that really spoil the opportunity for everyone, and that we're treating the customer and the consumer fairly. And I think that's absolutely the role of the regulator.
Alexa, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I would just add, when I was building LearnVest back in 2007, it was pre even fintech. So just the comfort, the real focus on understanding how to build in uncertainty. It was unclear how to build a business in the regulatory environment back then. We just have such depths of experience with this topic in this category. And so we're really good hands on shoulders of founders to say, we'll help you navigate it. We'll help you think about it. And then to Penny's point, if you're building something that really is doing right by the customer, you're always going to be in a better position. And so those are the people that we pick.
Yes, fantastic. So uncertainty, but also lots of opportunity ahead. Penny Pritzker, Alexa von Tobel, thank you both so much for joining us to talk about your big second fund.
Thank you.